okay, this is valid. This is what I think most men are saying. Like, they're getting mixed signals. They don't want to approach women because they think that if they do that, they're gonna come off creepy. So I can have some empathy for men, because I do think that if I was a man, like, I would feel like I'm torn and I'm in this like really tough position. So I think when we bring it to like women, it's about taking accountability. It's about like not being disrespectful if a man comes up to you and you're like, oh, I'm actually taken or whatever, like not making them feel weird about it. But like in another video I just posted, I think it's also about how the man approaches a woman. So like if a man is creepy and they're coming off with this like vibe that they only want to get in your pants, or they don't have like the best of intentions, then of course like the woman's going to be on guard and be like, no, I'm like not interested. So I think probably women like have this stance of, oh, I don't want men to come up to me or to approach me, because oftentimes like women are just dealing with pretty shitty men who have not the best intentions. So it really goes both ways.
Are you a guy who wants to have a girlfriend, or maybe you used to want to have a girlfriend, you've thought as a kid about having a wife and a family and getting married, and now you're feeling really, really hopeless and thinking, I don't even want that anymore. It's not worth the trouble. Well, I am here to help you, okay? For one, it's understandable. If you've had really bad experiences, if you've been called a creep, if you've been called a weirdo, if you've been called, fat, ugly, whatever, it's understandable that that would be a huge turnoff from talking to women. You'd be like, yeah, I'm not trying to do that anymore. It sucks. Every time I do it, they're mean to me. Fair. If you had, and maybe this isn't a good analogy, maybe you shouldn't be comparing women to dogs, but I'm like, if you had a dog and every time you tried to pet it, it bit you, you'd stop petting that dog, okay? But now think about it from the women's perspective. This is step one, is empathy for women. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard, genuinely, okay? I do know it's hard when you've started to see women as this group of people that are mean and shallow and rude and hateful towards you, okay? It's understandable then that it would be hard to have empathy. But to go back to the dog analogy, now think about every time you go to pet a dog, it bites you. But in reality, it's because the person before you used to beat the shit out of that dog, okay? The person before you beat the dog until it was nearly dead. And so now, when it sees a hand coming towards it, it freaks out and it lashes out and it bites, okay? So understanding kind of, how do we get here, okay? So that's the first thing. How do we get the dog back to being friendly? How do we regain our desire to pet dogs? Once again, I'm gonna get canceled for this analogy. I know it, okay? But how do we get back there? How do we get back to a place where dogs are man's best friend? Oh my God, I'm being so bad with this analogy, but you know what I mean, okay? Well, I'm here to help. I've got multiple ideas. I'm gonna be rolling out the videos, so just follow along and we'll get there, okay?
Tips for asking a woman out in public. Number 1, do not ask for social media. Go in for the kill. Ask for the number and leave. Social media, we all hate. It's like, hey, he wanted to stalk me. And then what? You're going to send us a DM later asking for a number? Let's not do it. Go in, phone number, and leave.
If you're an attractive woman and you don't signal enough, you won't be approached.
Do you have to approach more based on how objectively attractive you are?
You have to be available more. Availability actually makes you more attractive. When you think about your hair, your outfit, how you look, how you smell, all those things are great, but they will not work if you do not know the body language signals of availability.
Men don't really approach women in the wild anymore. This is something that is very common. We all know this at this point. Dating apps, shout out. I understand it can be intimidating, but I just got a really good compliment. And it wasn't even like a good compliment. It was just like a good segue to like have a conversation. This guy, very kindly, I could see him staring at me and I'm like, oh, here we go, And he just goes, I really like your dress. And that was it. And then he left me alone. And if he had kept going with the conversation, would I have talked to him? Yeah, because that was normal.
I really do think modern women feel like they're giving good feedback. Like, if a man says to you, "Oh, I like your dress," oh, that's not really all that great of a compliment. What would you be looking for? What else would you be wanting? You didn't even have to say that. You see how modern women don't think about what they say? They don't process before they open their mouths. They want a man to be effective in his communication. And part of that effectiveness is nonverbal. Part of that effectiveness in communication is thinking through what it is that you're talking about, the things that you are saying. Now, why would I say that? You're going to have to do that in a relationship. Period. End of story. What you guys are doing, which is why you're having trouble finding a man, is you're popping off at the mouth in and outside of a relationship. That might be great at work because people identify with somebody that would say something that they wouldn't say. Well, everybody was thinking it, but I'm the one that said it. But when you start getting into a relationship, you need to learn that brazen attitude. You need to learn to navigate and bridle your tongue. Y'all say a lot of stuff, and because people don't see you every day, you get away with it. You get me? You get away with talking crazy, acting stupid. Acting crazy, silly. And people, well, that's just Janine. That's the way she acts. Because they only see you for maybe 8-12 hours a day. But your husband is going to experience you. Maybe he won't see you those 8 to 12 hours, but he hears you. You're texting him. And when you go home, that's when you really take your mask off. And you start moving around and talking and just being who you are. So even if you guys spend less time together, he's going to experience more of you because you're not so painted up and on, I should say, when you're at home. And you're going to say things, you're going to do things, and the man's going to be like, I don't know if I'm interested in that. And you're going to say, why can't I find a man? Because you don't know how to control your tongue. Well, how come the man didn't keep the conversation going? I don't think your compliment was that great. I don't think your flowers were that great. I don't think this dinner was that great. This vacation was all right. Man, he flew me out, but I just don't. The Spirit Airlines, really? I mean, get your money up. And before you say that mind about that, there's a woman that posted that. She posted that. Now, he put me on this flight. I think 2 women. One went down to Miami before she went to Woodstock. Guy flew her out. He didn't put her in first class. She got mad at that because she had to sit coach. Another woman, basically the same thing. I'm thinking of a blonde-haired woman, I think she was. The other woman that went to Miami, dark-headed. I think her name is, it just slipped my mind. Mary something. I can't remember. But she's on that sprinkle nonsense. What I'm trying to say is these modern women, they get out here and they say little stuff like this that sounds innocent, but over time in a relationship, it wears a man down and he gets tired of hearing that nonsense.
Guys, men used to go to war and now they look at you weird when you approach them at the bar because all they did was stand around and stare at the wall all night.
Picking you up for a date, bare minimum. Making sure you get home okay after a date, bare minimum. Buying your coffee, bare minimum. Listening to you and not telling you what to do with your life, bare minimum. Just a friendly reminder.
Yeah, I got him in here cooking tonight after he works 12 hours. See, this is what you need to do when you come home from work. Just like I do every other night, okay? I know he's going to say, well, you should be cooking every night because I pay the bills. But guess what? Guess what, buddy? That's not how it's going to work around here. You're going to put in some extra work when you get home.
Well, why don't you go in there while I'm doing this?
Because I need to make sure you're doing it correctly. What are you talking about? Don't try to push me out of my kitchen.
Yeah, well, you don't need to be up in my space while I'm cooking.
I'm not in your space. I'm just monitoring the situation. I'm making sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. And when you're done, you're going to clean all those dishes in that sink. Because they're not going to do themselves. And I damn sure ain't going to do them. Not after the day that I had staying home all day. I'm stressed out.
If you ever wondered what it would look like for a wife to completely hate her husband yet stay with him, this is it. With that being said, I think that the only path that this man has is to understand that there is no reversing or healing her resentment. It is too far gone, and the fact is that if he continues to just follow her demands, it's only going to get worse for him. So look, he's got two choices here. Either one, if he wants a relationship at some point, he needs to get out of this one first, so he needs to file the papers. The second choice he should take if he just wants as much peace as possible immediately, and that is to completely check out of the relationship. But let's not overlook the complete double standard here, because if that was a man speaking to his wife that way, the video would be gone, he would be put on blast, they would find out where he was working, where he lived, the cops would be called.
Okay, unpopular opinion, but I get why men don't approach women in public anymore. Like, I get it. I've seen videos of men approaching women, and women can just be so rude. Like, I get if you have a boyfriend. I get if you're not interested. But, like, look out for us. Because that moment that you reject him in the worst way, it's just like he's never going to do it again. And I hate that for us.
Why does ignoring women make you irresistible? Here's the truth. It's not about ignoring her. It's about not overvaluing her attention. When you stop chasing, you flip the script. Women are drawn to men that have purpose, confidence, and options. If you're always available, you seem desperate. But when you focus on your life, you let her come to you. And then you become the challenge that she wants to win. Ignoring her doesn't mean disrespect. It means you respect yourself, and that's magnetic.
Here's an impression of me making eye contact with the hottest guy I've ever seen on the train just now.
What are the signs that the relationship isn't worth fighting for? I'll tell you the biggest sign. And I learned this when I watched this man who's a divorce attorney, talks about his cases and what he thinks about marriage, what he thinks has the chance of working out versus like what didn't work out. And he asked the woman, because he was representing her, and said, what was the moment that you realized that the relationship was done? She said that he, every morning, would always make sure that her granola was refilled, not even have to ask, and just always refill it for her, right? He'd write these little post-its too for her when he was leaving. Even after all these fighting, he'd still do it. The day she knew that the relationship was over was when he stopped filling the granola, stopped doing the letters, because he stopped caring. The moment.
So I think here she might be thinking about the interview with James Sexton, I think is what it is. My question on that one is, she noticed what he stopped doing, but did she ever notice what she stopped doing? Well, he didn't fill this up, he didn't do this for me, he quit. There's a saying that you probably hear a lot that goes, if you can see when your man is cheating, if you can, your intuition, your gut feeling can catch that, how can it not catch when your man is not happy, when he's not satisfied? How come you can't see that then? We've never been able to get an answer.
Ladies, listen, some men are just not going to be with you. They're not going to be with you, and I'll explain why. Sometimes you're too successful, okay? Sometimes you really are too much for a man. Too successful, you're too beautiful, you're too smart, you're too intellectual. That's it. He won't be with you, okay? You're too beautiful, you get a lot of attention from men. Oh, I can't be with her. She's doing what she loves, she's growing, she's healing, she's thriving. Nah, I'm going to go and be with a weak woman. I'm going to go be with a woman who hates herself. I'm going to be with a woman who has no voice, no life, no friends, no goals, no life, no friends, no goals. You get the point, okay? Some of you are out here absolutely bleeding yourself dry, trying to come up with reasons as to why this man didn't want you. And you fail to see the real reason. You fail to see the real reason. And the real reason is it's because he's just too intimidated by you. He's too intimidated by you, and it stems from insecurity. When men see women doing really well, successful in their careers, living the lives that they want, happy, glowing, stress-free, making money, beautiful, attractive, investing in themselves, living the life that they truly want, it rattles them. It rattles them. Yeah. And you're going to come across men who are not going to want to date you. Or if they do date you, they're going to try and run game on you because it makes them feel better about themselves that they kind of humbled you, that they kind of did something to you, okay? You know, like I did my big one on her, you know, and so hard I left this woman on red. Do you really think if you weren't special, do you think this man would be using all this mental energy on trying to bring you down to his level, or trying to shame you, or trying to humble you? Do you really think this man's even going to waste time on you? It's because you're above him. You intimidate him. You terrify him. You have options. You're successful. You're beautiful. You're charismatic. You're magnetic. You're hypnotic. Like, you have a light. You're the triple threat woman. He's absolutely terrified of you. And so he should be.
Guys, if you're intentionally dating and you are a gentleman, you're in your masculine energy, you are loving, you are kind, you are honest, you are transparent, you are all the things, and you go on a date and she does not like you, that does not make you a simp. That does not make you a simp. There are other factors that go into things. How attractive you are, your pheromones, chemistry, just little things that go into this. I think you forget and you're like, I'm all these things and she doesn't see my value. No, there's other shit that goes into this. And just because she didn't like you doesn't mean you get into your ego and you start closing up and you cut off all those amazing qualities that everybody's looking for. You're going to find somebody that values all the things that you bring to the table. You just have to wait it out and find your person.
Men are not approaching women because they're afraid of the woman calling him a freak or weird or creep or threatening, when he is probably, in most cases, just trying to have a simple interaction and get her number or start a conversation. But I've seen so many TikToks where a woman will go viral for telling a story about how a man came up to her and said something very normal, but she calls him a freak and calls him weird or threatening or whatnot, probably because she just didn't find him attractive. But at the same time that's happening, women really want men to make the first move because they want an assertive man who's brave enough to come talk to a stranger. So I totally understand both perspectives, but they clash. So what do we do about this scenario? No one's talking to anyone. No one's getting any numbers. What do we do?
You know, what these modern women are running into, I should say, who these modern women are running into is a reckless man. That's what they're asking for. And they're mad that the man isn't who they want. They're hoping that the high value man, as they would say, the man with the money, the man who has the nice cars, the nice house, the nice clothes, he's got a good social network, right? He's well known in his community. They're hoping that he would come up to them and just exhibit reckless abandon. But most men who have gotten to that point in their lives won't ever exhibit that, ever. That's not how they got to where they are. So you're asking a man for you because you're so special, to throw away all of his rules and come after you with reckless abandon, all the while changing your rules for Chad and Tyrone, who had no money, who just put up a facade to get in between your thighs. But you're going to put those rules up for him and say, you know what, I'm going to wait until marriage. You got money. You got all the things that I want. You're throwing away your nature and your style of discipline to come after me. You're breaking all your rules because you would never go for a woman like me. But I'm going to put some rules in place. I'm going to put some rules in place, even though Chad and Tyrone didn't have those same rules. Sounds like a fair trade. I love it.
And I've been crying all day because I got sat on a plane next to a couple, and the whole time the guy had his hand on like his girlfriend's leg, you know, and was just kind of like that the whole time. And I can't, like, I've been single my whole life. I'm 25, and I've never gotten to experience that.
What are you waiting for?
I've never gotten like close to that.
Damn.
And it's just too much. Like, it's too much. I can't do it anymore. There are some people out there who they're not interested in a relationship and they want to be by themselves. But like, that's not me, and that's never been me. I have always wanted to be in a relationship, even though I've never been in one. And even though I'm comfortable by myself and I can do things alone, but like at a certain point, it gets like really sad doing things alone. Like, I've traveled alone to so many places because like if I don't go by myself, I'm not gonna go. If I don't do things by myself, it's not gonna happen. But at the same time, like, it's so much fun to be able to like share that with someone else. And like, everyone I know is in a relationship right now, and like the majority of them have been in relationships for like a long time. Like, this is established, and I feel like I've always been alone, and I don't want to be, and I don't understand why this is happening to me. And I don't know, I like can't take it anymore. And clearly this didn't work because I'm still crying, and I just wasted like 2 minutes of your time, and I'm sorry. And I hope you're having a better weekend than I am. So
she's only going through all of this because she chooses to. I bet there's a lot of men that's willing to date her and marry her, but she doesn't want them because they don't qualify for her unrealistic standards. This is the problem. They literally do it to themselves and then cry about it on social media. She knows that she can get someone decent. And what I mean by decent is the average man, because she's the average woman. And he'll love her and she could build a family with him. But all of those guys are in her friend zone that's actually ready to date her. But instead, she's looking for the top 20% of men that don't want her. Another important point is relationship skills. A lot of women want to be a wife without having any kind of wife traits. If you're not a wife, no man is going to pick you as a wife. All wives are found early. Make sure that you become wife material. A man is not going to find a woman that doesn't have any wife attributes and marry her. But instead, he'll find a wife and marry her. So a good question for this woman and most women is, are you a wife and do you have relationship skills?
That's a good question.
As a woman who considers herself average at best and below average, like on a bad day, I don't think it's that crazy for men to say things like, I'm afraid of approaching women. Just be like, based on the fact that approaching is difficult, like you have to put your ego on the line. Somebody could be recording you. Your rejection could get posted, and they could reject you in a really mean way, especially if they're recording you, and you're not aware. But also, it's just hard to know when you're supposed to approach. Like, how are you supposed to know when somebody's open to receiving like that sort of attention? And you might say, oh, with body language, but it's like, are you supposed to look at them first? And how are you supposed to look at them to indicate that that's something that you're trying to do? You know, I feel like it's hard, it's difficult, and it's scary. And those are all reasons why I don't approach men. Like, I think it's just hard. I don't know, but you guys can let me know your thoughts on this.
I was dating this guy a few years ago, and he was like, I just love that you're such a natural girl. You're just such a natural girl. You know, you don't have the Botox. You don't have all that Botox. I looked at him with my skin basically pasted to my skull. Me?
What you doing tonight, guys?
Get the fuck away from me!
God bless y'all.
You'll never see a man try to be friends with an 18-year-old male. But suddenly, when it becomes a woman, they're so mature for their age. You're a loser. You're weird. You're weird.
I guess I don't get it because I'm sitting up here reading programs. A lot of them seem to be for men of color, right? Trying to help, trying to mentor, trying to steer young men in the right direction. Brothers and sisters. Steve Harvey looks like he even has a foundation. You've got United Way, Boys to Men Mentoring Network. I feel like recreation centers, the YMCA, I want to say back in its heyday, maybe. I can't remember. You have the YMCA. There's countless programs where men are, friends, or they connect with younger men, for the purpose of trying to help them throughout life, right? I understand what you're saying, but this type of stuff where we're thinking that men are predators and just what y'all really try to do is make it seem like men are buffoons, is what you're doing. And you're going to wonder why men don't approach. I'm thinking about that woman in the clip here, or one of the clips here where she was talking about a man liking her natural skin or her natural face and how she didn't have any Botox. And instead of just keeping that to herself, she got online to try to shame the man. The man said, I like that you don't have a lot of that stuff going on. You try to keep it natural. I don't like all of that fake stuff, is essentially what he's telling you. You could just say thank you and move on. But modern women, honestly and truly, they just can't shut up. They don't know when to quit, is really what it is. And they're wondering why men aren't nice to them. They wonder why men, unfortunately, are downright rude to them, because they have this thing to where they want to get online and expose a man, or they want to talk down on a man or treat a man terribly. How far do you actually think that you're going to get with your silly attitude?
A lot of men haven't got the opportunity to deal with the kind of women that they want to deal with.
Why is that?
Just lack of opportunity.
What do you mean? There's always opportunity to meet fire women.
Y'all always act like it's just a whole lot of great women out here.
I think there are.
It's not.
I have a friend circle, and I feel like
You only can relate to your circle of friends. No, we're talking about the world, not the 4 women you know that are good with you. Talking about in the world. We go out everywhere. We go to Miami, to Vegas, to All-Star Weekend, and we meet a lot of women. That don't mean that we meet a lot of great women, though.
Damn.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, you meet a lot of women that you can do stuff for, that want you to take them out and spend money and treat them a certain way. But you don't get nothing back in return. It's very rarely that you meet somebody who can at least meet you in the middle.
Okay, so for the women that are listening, what do you expect a woman to give you in return?
This is the thing, ladies. We're not looking for you to buy us nothing or take us anywhere. It's all about how you treat us, how you make us feel. Do you respect us? You don't have to listen to our every commandment. Do you listen? Can you hear me? Can we work this out? Can we talk?
Hey there, if you're a guy, just let me ask you one question. When a girl texts you, why is it so hard to respond?
Okay, hear me out. They are not lonely enough. They are not lonely enough. I'm watching all of these women on TikTok and their dating stories and their come with me on a date and then they're after. And all I've learned is that they are not lonely enough. They're not lonely enough. Keep pushing, ladies.
Tell me that you don't want to see me anymore then. Don't lie to my face. Keep my expectations up here. Don't say that you like me and that you're going to fly out and see me if you actually don't plan on doing that. And before you say, Alexa, it's the men that you're choosing, think, no, I have tried every variation of man, okay? I don't even have a type anymore. That's how rough it is out here. Tall, short, blonde, brunette, doesn't matter. Your eye color, like literally it doesn't matter. Dad bod, muscular, it doesn't matter. Job, no job, it doesn't matter. They're all the same. I'm like rashing out. Like, if you guys heard the conversation that I had with this person 2 weeks ago compared to now being ghosted again, how am I not in an insane asylum right now because of the amount of shit I've been put through? Like, I've rethought and gone over so many scenarios over and over and over again. Just stop promising stuff to women if you're not actually gonna do it. Yeah, anyway.
You know them niggas that be like, she didn't want me when I was down, now she want me when I'm up. Let me say something about that. For example, like me, I already know what I got going on, okay? There's women or girls out here who have shit going on, right? And let's say a nigga comes into their life who, you know, he's decent, he's cool, like we fuck with you, but you just don't really got nothing going on, right? It's not gonna work. So of course, naturally, the girl might pull back a little bit until you get your shit together. Then when you get your shit together, she might want to hop back down because you got your shit together now. We both got our shit together, let's make it work. But then y'all niggas gonna be like, oh, you didn't want me when I was down. Why the fuck would I want you when you was down, bro? If you couldn't even afford a 4 for 4, how the fuck was you gonna have a girlfriend? How the fuck was you gonna be able to get me what the fuck I need, nigga? If you was fighting every mental illness, every financial struggle in the world, and you're talking about possibly getting with somebody who has their shit together, at least decently have their shit together, nigga, that's not even fair. To me, that's the equivalent of niggas who got their shit together, got money, got paid, got a good job, got their mental together, got their life together. And a girl who don't got nothing to her name talking about some, I need some money for my rent. Break me off some money, nigga. Y'all know how fucking mad y'all get. Y'all be like, what the fuck, hoe, get your own shit? That's what I'm talking about. You want somebody who's gonna meet you on your level. You want somebody who's gonna match your fly. Like, come on, don't be unfair with this shit.
Well, you're broke right now. Why would I want you? I want you when you're already finished. Yes, but you want me to come in and help you finish and continue to build out what you have. Oh, I got in the point. Let's go back to the woman who, 32, right? 22, 10 years. I won't say there wasn't any issues, but when she hits 32, then she's saying to the internet, thinking about divorcing my husband. He's a great man, perfect man, fantastic. But, you know, I feel like, you know, something is wrong. I feel like I'm not myself. You know, basically, I want to start my business. He took a step back from his business and allowed me to do mine. I'm thinking of another story where a woman left her man. Like she went on to be a lawyer, start making money, told him to stay home from his job because she was making a lot of money, ended up leaving that man, got dumped by the man that she thought was the quote unquote alpha, and went back to that man. Okay. Wanted to go back to her husband, basically, is what I'm saying, after the alpha man that she said dumped her. Right? So you're wanting the man. Essentially what's happening in these two situations that I want to highlight and what you're talking about, without even saying it, is y'all want the man to build. And by the way, the woman, once again, 32, been with the man for 10 years, had a beautiful home, all of the things that most people would probably want. She had that. Okay. She's still saying that's not enough. I want something else. So the man spent 10 years, at least that we know of, building all of that just for you to say, and building you, putting you in a position just to say, this is not enough. I'm going to leave. You want a man to build you, but you don't want to build a man. You don't want to help a man build. You don't want to help cast vision with a man. You don't want to help problem solve and think critically with a man. You just want to just jump in the passenger seat. Hey, where do you think that we should go next? I don't know. Hey, what do you think that we should eat? I don't know. What do you want to eat? I don't know. You want to go shopping? We just went to Jamaica. Where else do you want to go? I don't know. Well, we're in Mexico. What do you want to go check out? I don't know. And it's always that. Well, just think something up. Pick something. You plan it. I want a man to lead. No, you want to be lazy. Okay? And you do that under the guise of being feminine. That's what you're talking about right now. This is not a crazy take. It's a silly take. It's a very silly take. Y'all keep on saying this type of stuff, wanting men to come around and allow you to take their money after the fact. You want to come when the man is, he's won the lottery. That's when you want to hit him up. Who in their right mind would sit up there and be around you?
Bro, my sister ain't shit. She be cheating on her man. I love her, but she be cheating on her man. And she don't want to be with him no more. And she don't want to break up with him. And she don't want him to break up with her. So she was like, I'm just going to stop putting in effort until he breaks up with me. And I was like, no, don't do that. Just break up with him. And she was like, actually, matter of fact, I'm just going to cheat on him again. Bitch, I beg your finest fucking pardon. Just break up with him. What the fuck are you doing? I almost called the motherfucking police on her. I'm not gonna lie. 911, what's your motherfucking emergency? Yeah, my sister ain't shit.
I'm supposed to be going on a date today, but canceled. Don't want to go. Completely turned off because I refuse to go on a date with someone who lacks common sense. So we're texting, and I was like, okay, well, what time do I need to be ready by? He said, be ready by 8 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, cool. I could be ready by 8 o'clock. I said, great. I'll send you my address in a little bit. He said, okay, cool. So am I meeting you there or am I picking you up?
Jabria, are you smart?
If Johnny had 4 apples, why would I be sending you my address if I'm meeting you there? Instantly turned off. Now I don't want to go because you can't put 2 and 2 together to make 4. Date canceled. Moving on. I like my rap today, though.
You know, you guys make it really tough. You guys make it really tough to date, you guys. Could have been like, okay, do you want me to send an Uber or you're going to meet me there in the Uber, right? Or do you want me to come pick you up? Are you going to send an Uber? Yeah, I can do that. Or I said, well, I kind of want you to pick me up, right? Once again, you're going to run into that in relationships to where they hear you, but there's so many other things going on that they don't really comprehend what you're saying. Oh, well, if a man can't, you're not going to comprehend either. So don't even go there. Y'all get on here acting like you're too perfect when y'all don't really, this is why you're single. When y'all don't really understand a give and take in a relationship. Just go on the date, dude. Stop being weird.
So, people that say looks don't matter, that is not true. A couple years ago, I had like a pink pajama set and my husband loved it. And I got rid of it a long time ago, but I guess my husband is just not catching on. So last night, I was wearing like a pullover, like a dark red pullover sweatshirt type thing, half or quarter zip. And I have gotten rid of all of my sweatpants because I didn't want to wear sweatpants. It made me feel kind of homeless. So all I have now is like workout leggings. That's actually all I have right now. But this has prompted me that I need to go get some actual cute pajama sets. So last night I was feeling lazy. I was wearing my sweatshirt type thing and I put on a pair of my husband's shorts. Now, they are a man's shorts, so on me, they come down to my knees. So I looked not like myself. And I was packing his lunch in the kitchen this morning and he walked up to me and he's like, hey, where's that cute like pink pajama set that you used to have? And I was like, I threw that away I got rid of it a long time ago. I didn't like it and it didn't fit me right. And then I was joking, but kind of not. I was like, so you don't like this outfit? And he's like, no. So in that moment, I was kind of humbled and I realized if my husband is looking at me and is not liking what he sees, if that's something that's continuous, that's not going to lead to good things. As women, we should not, I take that back. We do need to dress for ourselves and for our husbands. We need to wear outfits that our husband loves, that we feel confident in, and that our husband loves to see us in. So I am off to get some cute pajama sets that my husband enjoys. So I want to also say it is worth it to put effort in every single day, every single time that you get dressed. It's not just for yourself, it's for your husband too. Or it's not just for your husband, it's also for you. Dress like your dream woman. And last night, I typically do dress like my dream woman. But last night, I was feeling lazy. And it showed. And I was embarrassed. So, dress like your ideal woman.
Well, the thing that she was dressed in, and there's women in the comments, and that's, well, they're probably single right there. One woman says, blink twice if you need help. She doesn't need help. She wore some shorts that to a man, if he's looking at them, they might be weird to her. You got to think, if he's looking at those shorts, which are his, versus the cute pink pajamas, which she got rid of, that he really, really liked, those are two different looks. She's looking feminine, cute, attractive, sexy, versus potentially like a tomboy. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he probably didn't marry her if she was looking like a tomboy. Like that's probably not what he wants. So he's well within his rights to say this, because a woman would get upset if you walk out the house representing her looking a certain way. Well, inside my house, and obviously outside my house, I like my woman looking a certain way. It's not that big of a deal. You guys make everything a problem.
I got a question for my single people. And I mean single, not married. And you think you're single, nobody else. Single. I mean, I knew the dating pool had a little pee in it. But damn, who dropped the dookie? Last time I remember, dating was not that complicated. What happened to the men that were head ass? Everybody nowadays just think they're too cool. Oh, I mean, you're cute. I mean, wow, you pretty. What are you so scared of? Like, it's okay to show your feelings. It's okay to show her you really like her. Like, am I the only one that thinks everybody thinks they're too cool to put pressure or to show interest or to show somebody that they like them? Or to have a personality? Please, I need to know. I need to know.
And hear me out. Do children really need their fathers? Or do they need a stable home with two sources of income? I feel like a lot of times these fathers do more harm than good, because a lot of these fucked up people that's running around here in the world, they come from two-parent households. Their father was there, he just wasn't doing shit. A lot of these men, they're not helping the wives raise the kids, bro. Yeah, they're bringing home the money, but really it's 2025. Hell, the women working more than the men. So yeah, they might be bringing home income, but that's all they're doing. They're not actually raising these children. And this is coming from somebody who, my adoptive parents have been together for 40 years. They're still married. He did more harm than good. We would have been better off if she left him like we told her to. That nigga pretty much, he kind of fucked up my older brother and my older sister. I'm just a wild child, so I rebelled. But really though, I see why men never used to be allowed to be around women and children. Children really don't need their fathers. They do more harm than good a lot of times.
Men love to, oh, why are you not coming out here? Why you don't want to take the trip? Because I know what the trip comes with and I don't have nobody to give you. That's why. That's why. Keep your money. I know that if I come out there, you're not getting nothing. Why would I have you spend your money knowing that it comes with the price? I'm okay. I'm alright. I won't come out there. I won't, because even if you say, no, you can come out here, it's fine. I know that the beast inside you, because men are part men and part beast. Hunters. You're gonna try and soften me up a little bit. You're gonna try and convince me, and it might just work. And what did God say? I'm not gonna run towards the lust and think that I have a chance to fight it. I know I can't fight it. I'm gonna stay away from it. You can keep your money. Save it. Use it towards something useful. Have more priorities than... Oh, and keep your good morning beautiful, too. Good morning, beautiful. Keep it. Keep it. Hold it tight. As long as it's away from me, keep it. Oh, why are you not coming out here? Because I know what you want when I come out there. I don't have none for you. It's mine. I got it for my birthday.
I like what you just said, but I'm going to jump in here. I'm looking at your Instagram, And, you know, I'm just going to say be careful of the way that you present yourself online. I know you might be doing this around your friends. Y'all go to the club or something like that, or y'all be at the house shaking and doing all that stuff. That's great. But yeah, like I said, just kind of be careful of that, because if a man is saying, hey, how about you come out? Oh, where'd you get that from? Why would you even think about me like that? Well, if you're kind of doing this type of stuff, then it might be an indicator. Not trying to say anything disrespectful, but yeah.
I really dislike the word provider in any context because I think it boils men down to a capitalistic idea of what value they add to someone's life. And that value is usually materialistic. Like when I see provider man content, it usually hinges on the idea of him making decisions for you, buying you things that you want, adding some sort of inherent materialistic value to your life. At our core, all human beings crave emotional connection, but I think social media has impaired our ability to communicate that need for emotional intimacy. So I think we've replaced it with something that's a little bit more transactional. I don't think you actually want a provider man. I think that you want emotional connection and you'll settle for financial stability as a result of rampant materialism, because there is something calming about knowing that the financial aspect at least is taken care of, but that doesn't necessarily substitute love or what it is at its core. Emotional fulfillment in a relationship is in and of itself a value that someone is providing to you. You don't need to redefine your idea of what an emotional connection should be because of capitalism, but I think a lot of people are doing that because of this content.
Well, they're probably going to tell you that provider man is a catch-all term. Well, I don't mean that he just provides financially. I mean that he provides mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Modern women talk in broad terms. They talk in very, very high-level terms. Like, well, that's what a simp is to me if he's out here giving me all that I want and he's obsessing over me. And, well, a simp is a person who put you before themselves. Like they're completely obsessed with you to the detriment of their own selves. They don't really even have any goals. Oh, well, yeah, that's what you should. That's what but you're not going to respect the simp though. A simp is what you're actually talking about is a nice guy. Oh yeah. Well, I don't want the nice guy. I want the guy that is strong, masculine, has a backbone, and one that, kind of takes care of me and, treats me right. I don't mean obsessed with me, but I mean like he constantly considers me and he thinks about me. Like say for instance, he might not be thinking about me all day, but when he's going on his way home, he stops at Starbucks. Hey babe, I'm at Starbucks. Do you want anything? He considers me, right? Hey, I'm stopping and getting some tacos. Do you want anything? Yeah, sure. Hey, I'm bringing something home. Right? He's considering me in all ways. So they're taking terms that, first of all, is not necessarily the meaning of the term. And then they're taking that term and using it very, very broadly as a kind of catch-all term. And modern women like to do this because it gives them the space to live in a lot of gray areas. That's why men just stop approaching, because there's too many gray areas. A man, because men take time to figure things out, right? So they're connecting A, B, C, D. When you get to D, a woman will switch that up and say, actually, here's a gray area. Boom, here's a test. Sometimes they don't even know it's a test, but they'll throw it at the man, and the man will be like, what? Where did this come from? That's just what I want. And a woman should be able to have preferences. That's my standard. If you can't meet my standard, then she's going on TikTok. That's where that comes from. So they're using these things as a catch-all, and I see you right here saying the idea of a provider man is a result of capitalism and fear of emotional intimacy. I think you're going too far off. Capitalism, I wouldn't say has anything to do with it, right? I think these women, well, I guess you could, if you mean, no, these women are greedy. They're greedy. And they're bringing money into it. That don't got nothing to do with capitalism. That has to do with who they are as people. And men keep on saying that. They don't have any emotional intimacy. They don't have any emotional intelligence. They have none of that. they don't reciprocate. They don't give a man anything. So all they can really do is offer their body in exchange for money, because they don't have anything else, right? That's really what it boils down to. They're just talking, using buzzwords as catch-all phrases to treat men weirdly and crazy. And when a man figures it out, they just try to move on to the next man. That's how they're living out here.